Are you dreaming of smashing it next summer at a festival in 2025? Whether it's on the main stage or a vibey little side tent, this video is going to break down everything you know about how to get booked to play at festivals in the summer of 2025. It's going to teach you everything you need to know to get your foot in the door, to the pitch, and everything around getting booked to play at festivals. Let's do this. Before we start, if you need more tips to help you level up your DJ career, then this is the channel for you. And hit that subscribe button because we have tons of videos to help you improve as DJs and music producers across all of the business side of being an artist. Okay, before you even pitch yourself or even think about networking, you need to know exactly where you fit into the space. And research is the foundation of getting booked. Start by identifying key festivals you want to play at. Which festivals are your peers playing at? Which people are playing on the stages you want to play on? Think about ones that fit your sound and your vibe. And don't just look at the massive events. Look at the smaller events too. For most of you starting out making music and in the early starts of your career, it isn't going to be about you playing the big stages and the main stages. It's going to be about you playing the smaller tents, the side stages, the second stage, the third stage, or sometimes even the 10th stage of a big event. And look at those niche little stages that are booking similar size artists to you, because those are going to be a much better fit for you where you are right now. But that depends on where are you right now. Be realistic with yourself. Once you've got that list, then it's about digging a little bit deeper. Who are the companies running those festivals? What is that little logo above the festival name? You know where it says Big Betty's Events Presents? That's who actually puts on the festival. This is the team behind the event. Then, within those stages of the event, each of the stages might be run by another person. It's confusing, right? What happens is the big festival will bring in stages and crews to run those smaller stages, to take the weight off and the burden off of the kind of promotion and getting more people into that stage. Many festivals work with external promoters like this that have their own crews, that have their own audiences. They will book the people to play in those stages. Now, you know who they are now. So we can start this winter, or summer if you're on the other side of the world, of working out those promoters that are putting those smaller stages on. Are they doing parties in the winter? Can this be the first port of call for your networking? Right now, most of those companies putting festivals on, or the smaller companies putting cider rooms on, will be doing parties through this winter period, because essentially that's their business. They are event promoters. That's what they do. They do it all year round. They love putting events on. So, can you get into the clubs? Can you meet the people that are putting the parties on in the winter, in the period that's not the festival period? Can you go to their club nights and hang out? But let's do this strategically. Funds are tight, right? Everyone's feeling the pinch of the price of life crisis, and it's hitting everyone hard. So think about carefully which events you're going to go to, and that comes from that research. Which events then strategically align with the festivals you want to play at next year. Maybe then you can meet the people that are putting the events on and shake the hands and meet those people face to face and introduce yourself to them, so that then when it comes to then the booking period for festivals, it's not a cold email, it's not an introduction. You already know that person, you've already been talking to them, they know who you are, and then you've done that kind of pre-game of getting your foot in the door. And a pro tip for this is pick out 3 to 5 festivals you want to play at next year, and then literally map out their whole ecosystem of everything they do and everything they're behind and everything they're part of. And when you start doing that and start putting it on paper, you'll see it's quite a lot, because a lot of people have a lot of fingers in a lot of pies. Research those promoters and work out then where you can make your presence. Do they have regular acts that are playing across all their events, or they're playing in the winter events and you can see they're playing in the summer? Is that the first entry? Do you need to go and hang out and be friends with these acts that maybe could introduce you down the road, or tell you kind of more of the process, so then you get more of the knowledge, so that you can then push yourself forward? If certain promoters are booking similar acts from their winter shows to their summer shows, then they know these acts move the needle when it comes to tickets. They personally like the music they play, but when they book them, they know that they're going to sell tickets. They know they have a strong audience. They know of a community that will come and watch them play. And it's all about, when it comes to events and festivals, bums on seats. Festival promoters are putting a lot of money on the line to make a festival happen. The return on their investment for them is massive, but there are risks for them, and there are big risks when it comes to big festivals. So they are booking people that put bums on seats and sell tickets. And this could be physically one-to-one. Most of the time, it's because they have an audience. They have something going on and people want to see them play. So, which clubs are they playing in? Can you go and meet those people and kind of just introduce yourself, become friends with them? Maybe they can introduce you to that booker down the line. Or maybe, like I said, they're just going to tell you the process of getting booked and what that promoter is looking for. Also, it's just nice to have more friends in the scene. Now, you've worked out who you want to connect with. You've worked out from a promoter point, from a DJ point, from a friend's point, from people in the industry point of view. Now it's time to start doing the networking. But it isn't just about turning up, it's about networking with purpose. And I cannot stress this enough. And I do stress it a lot in my videos, and I'm going to keep stressing it in all my videos. Networking is everything. Getting yourself out there and meeting people and connecting with people in this industry is going to push you forward the most. Networking is the single most important thing you can have as a DJ in your toolkit. It's not just about the talent, it's not just about the music, it's about these personal relationships. Building genuine connections with the right people in this industry can push you forward 10x, 100x so fast. And so many people work in this industry. This industry is now at 7.8 billion, and that's just in the UK. That's a massive industry. Psst. All those people that told me to do a proper job way back. 7.8 billion is a proper industry now, and it's always been a proper industry, and this is a proper job. But yeah, it's a massive business, and the live sector is a big chunk of that industry and a big chunk of that revenue. i.e. live sector means festivals, clubs, events, live shows. That's the live sector. This means that sector has plenty of people to work with and plenty of people to network with. There are so many different roles within that sector. It's not just about the booker and the promoter and the DJ. And loads of those people can help you get more gigs at festivals. Networking is more than just cold DMing on Instagram or handing out a business card. It's about finding friendships, collectives and crews. And you can start by finding your online collective. In our Discord, we have 3,500 Discord members now, and they're all DJs and producers and vocalists and people that want to push forward in this scene. And they're connecting with each other and creating amazing things. We've had some amazing results this year. We've had gigs happen. We've had collaborations happen. We've had records get signed. We've signed tons of tracks from that Discord for our own labels. And we booked artists from our Discord for our events this year. And whilst it's good to have a strong online crew of friends all over the world, some of these aren't going to turn up to your gigs because they're in different places. So it's about having your offline crew as well. Finding your offline crew is absolutely key. And that can be about going to the club shows. If there isn't a scene in your local area, can you start a scene? But also, can you just find producers that are locally to you? Start putting it out into the world. You're looking for other producers in the same area as you, and start connecting with them and start building a little collective of you locally. Festivals don't just book DJs, they book relationships at the end of the day. They want to work with people they know, like, and trust, and also deliver an amazing experience, but also aren't a ball ache when it comes to the experience. And if you're not networking, you're missing a massive part of the game, and it should be one of the things you improve on next year. And your job isn't just to network with the festival promoters, it's to network with everyone in the scene. The DJs, the stage managers, the publicists, the managers, the booking agents, all of these people are part of the scene. Even the accountants. Getting friendly with the security staff inside a venue. I used to do this so much. Getting friendly with the security will help you get through a door to a green room that you're not supposed to go in. If you're turning up to a club every week and you see the same security, shake their hand, say hello. How you doing this week? How you been this month? They'll probably smile and say hello and get to know your face. And then when you're trying to sneak into that backstage room, they'll probably give you a cheeky wink and let you through because they know you. They know you're not in no trouble. They all play a role in the ecosystem of dance music. And the more people you get to know, the more people are going to help you, and the more chance you're going to get a gig. Story time. When I was building data transmission, I wanted to get more artists of bigger caliber on the platform. And that was about meeting managers, meeting publicists, and also just talking to them about what the platform was. Back then it was a new thing and no one knew the name. Also, not many people knew about blogs and kind of that sort of space. It was an evolving space. So it was about getting people into what you're doing. And to do that, you had to meet the managers and the publicists and the teams around the artists. So then I'd plan my clubbing. I'd want to go to certain events where I knew there was going to be a manager and I knew there was going to be publicists because there was a big artist there, and I'd try and get backstage to meet them. And it was more about meeting their team and chatting to their team than it was about meeting the actual artist. It was great to meet the artist and put a face to a name, and some of them are still my friends today, but it was about looking at those managers because they're looking after not just that artist, but multiple artists on their roster. So by speaking to them, I'd get more artists involved in the platform than just the person playing. But sometimes you can't get backstage to those big gigs, so you have to take it a step further. So then you start looking at all the other acts on the roster and where they're playing. Are they playing smaller towns and smaller places where you can go to the smaller gigs because there's less security? The backstage is easier to get in. You can hang out with the manager because they're just going to be in the crowd with you. And by doing that, when it comes to the big gigs and you're trying to go backstage, the person you're trying to connect with again, they're already your friend because you met them at a few gigs before you're trying to get backstage to the big gig. During that time of the smaller gigs, I'd meet loads of the team and hang out with the team, and then they'd become your friends. And then that opened up so many more doors because of that networking and because of just getting out there and putting my face out there. As a DJ, the same principle applies. By showing up constantly, supporting the events that are going on, it helps the scene. As we've seen a lot on the news at the moment, a lot of clubs are closing, a lot of events are not happening, a lot of festivals are not happening because people aren't turning up to events and people aren't supporting the events. So if you want events to happen and you want things to go ahead, then it's about about turning up to those events and supporting your local scene and supporting the scene that's going on. And over time, this approach has helped my super secret alias, Ron Mexico, get gigs at massive events. I've played at Hideout, I played at Warehouse Project, I played at Space Ibiza, I played at Fabric, I've obviously played at Turn Mills, where I used to work. I played at our own festival in Milton Keynes called Hidden Festival. I played for 5 hours last year at a festival called Nostock with Hobbs back to back. It was an amazing experience. But all this has come from networking and turning up to the Nostock for the previous 10 years events and hanging out, meeting the team, meeting the owners, becoming friends with them and getting booked. Have you had a similar experience where networking has opened doors for you? I'd love to know. Start that conversation in the comments. I'd love to know your experiences. I'd love to know your successes from going and hanging out and networking. Before we start networking, it's about getting your house in order. Think of it like this. If you go meet a booker, they're going to look at your social media. They're going to look at what you've going on. And if it's nothing, that's kind of started the opportunity a little bit wasted. If they ask for materials, are you ready to impress? Do you have a new mix ready? You should always have a mix that represents your sound. But here's the trick. Don't just make it about peak time bangers, because most of the time, when you're a smaller or newer up-and-coming artist, you're not going to get booked for peak time bangers. You're going to be getting booked for warm-up slots, smaller stages where the sound needs to be more specific. Think about that. Think about the sound you might play in one of these smaller spaces or in a warm-up shot, because that's what they're going to want to see. They're going to be booking you on those sounds. Everyone can play the latest bangers. It's not about that. Bookers want to hear the sound that fits what they're trying to book. Make it easy and reduce the friction for them. Show them also that you understand what happens at the festival. You've been to the events. You know what's expected at the start. You know what's being booked from the warm-up slots and the first opening slots. Again, it's not about playing the bangers. Let's do a social media check. How is your Instagram? How is your TikTok? How is your YouTube? Which platform is your main platform and which are you present on? This is your business card at the end of the day. It's your profile. It shows what you've got going on. These are like your digital shop windows. If I'm a booker, when I'm booking stages, when I go to look at someone's Instagram, can I see videos of them playing? Can I see them rocking the crowd? Can I see the music they're playing and the music they're into? Are these the videos? Are they there? Because if I can't straight away, I'm not going to start scrolling. And these clips could come from gigs, but they also could come from live streams. Twitch DJing now is such a big thing. And if you're not getting gigs, then start thinking about how you could live stream on a regular basis to create content for yourself that shows off what you're about as a DJ. It's really easy these days to get live and become a Twitch DJ. It makes it even easier for the promoter to see you in action. Next, is your EPK ready? Do you have an electronic press kit? And do you have one that's ready to go? This is literally a non-negotiable for landing gigs. Your EPK should include professional photos, your bio, videos you're playing, and think of it as your DJ resume. Make sure it's polished, make sure it's up to date, make sure it's got your numbers on there, because some promoters, let's face it, are going to look at numbers. Take 10 minutes today and review your electronic press kit and your social media. Do they need some work? And if you don't have an electronic press kit, we need to start building one. It is literally one of the most powerful tools you can have for getting bookings and getting gigs. Did you see my recent video on it? If you haven't, comment EPK actually, and I'll send you that video on how to design your EPK. Now you know the right companies that are putting the gigs on. You know the right shows that you're going to be booking for. Your EPK is looking good. Your social media is looking good. Now it's about the pitch. And let's get that right. Okay, it's time to pitch. Festival promoters and festivals get booked up months and months in advance. And getting your pitch right is crucial. Most of those events for next summer are getting booked up from September this year and through this period through winter. Then the late summer ones, say the ones that are finishing at the end of September, will be things like January, February and March. We're getting booked up for those events. If you look at what's being announced now, it's the big mega events. Creamfields has just been announced for next August. That means they're already working on the event. They've announced it. They're already working on headliners. They'll probably have a plan of the lineup. They'll probably have a map out of who they're booking across the big stages. Who's planning the other stages for them, who's looking after stages. They'll have this plan in place and they'll be working with those artists and artist managers and booking agents now to get everything in place. Most of these events will announce tickets on sale to start building the hype. So right now we're in the middle of the booking time. Some festivals, like I said, will be introducing the acts to their winter shows to see how they perform, to see what they're like, especially if they bring on new acts they've not worked with. They'll try them out in the winter shows, see what the audience is like, see how they sell, see how much they move the needle, and then essentially they'll get put into the big shows. Maybe there'll be a deal that builds the artists across multiple shows in that region with the booking agent. And then these will be the first lines, the headliners and the first acts announced with the festivals. Once they've booked those lineups, then it's about the rest of the lineup. This is where most of you come into it. It's about finding that sweet spot where you start talking to the festival, start talking to the booking agent. You've done that research, you know who you're speaking to. It's about continuously trying to talk to them. Or imagine though, they've got all this other stuff going on with all of these other agents and all these things, and you've got to get a part of their time to get you booked. Because this is when bookers are booking the lineups. If you wait till spring, you wait till early in the summer, summer, you'll have missed your chance, you'll have missed your opportunity. But as I said right at the start of this video, what you might find is the person booking the headliners isn't the person booking the smaller stages. And you'll have done that research from part 1 of this video. You'll know who that is, and you'll be talking to them because they're the chance you're going to get to book in the smaller stages. This is where you'll have done your networking, you'll have done your guerrilla clubbing, and this will all come to fruition into this pitch point. But also remember, not every festival is the right fit for you. Not every stage is going to be right for you and your sound, and that's okay. There are so many DJs out there, and giving up other people opportunities is definitely cool. And also think of it, some of these smaller stages often attract the most passionate crowds, and there can be your new fan base. These are the people that are going to start supporting your records next year after the festival happens, because they might find you as their new act. They might be the one that shouts about you the loudest because they found you on these smaller stages. They're into you and they're going to follow you on social media, and they're your new crew. And anyone that comments on your stuff after you play the gig, make sure you connect with them and make sure they become part of your fan base. When you're pitching to the person that books the stage, keep it simple, keep it to the point. Attach your EPK, put a link to your newest mix. Keep it brief about yourself, professional, and to the point. Mention why the stage will fit your sound, mention stuff you've done in the past, and give them the links to be able to check you out. The other way to get into festivals is by bringing value to the festival. As I mentioned, lots of these festivals will book smaller stages and smaller collectives to bring in the stage and bring the party to their festival. You have a crew, you have an audience, and the festival will want to connect that and bring that audience to their festival. Remember, if they bring 250 to 300 people because that's their show, that's those tickets sold essentially. That's bums on seats. So, do you have a collective? Have you been involved in events? Are you involved in a radio show that's got an audience and a regular crew that turns up for you? Can you bring that to the festival? Can you pitch that to the festival? And you go to the main bookers and say, we'd like to bring this show. We've done our research. We know you've got these stages. Can we bring our collective to your event and have your own stage at the festival? As mentioned, festivals do this because it takes a lot of the headache away. So can you take that headache away from them and bring your crew to that event? And this might be a stage, but it can also be thinking outside the box. If you're a mobile DJ, can you pitch to be a mobile DJ at the festival? You just bring something quirky to the event. Can you do a pop-up concept? Can you do something immersive where you bring an idea to the event and pitch that to the event to bring something different to that event? Are you doing a walk-in live stream on Twitch? Can you do that and live stream straight from the festival with you at the event? That's cool. It gives the festival something else to shout about, and for you get a gig at the festival. You'll get loads of content from it, and it'll just be a great experience. Essentially, it's aligning with what the festival's about and bringing their brand and what they're doing, but bringing your own self to it. And for a lot of the smaller events, it's about understanding those smaller boutique events. So maybe it's about just attending the first year, and then you go, right, now I really understand this event, and I know where I can bring our collective to it. We can see there's a space. We can see where we can add something to that festival, and then start speaking to them for the following year. Other ways to break into festivals, there are always DJ competitions. Keep an eye out for them, because essentially this is promotion for the event, and they're going to find the new talent. They're always on the lookout. Maybe we should start a section in my Discord. Let me know, Discord crew, if we should have a Discord section for competitions for festivals. They're always great for exposure, they're always great for connections, and they're always great for making content. Plus it gives you something to shout about as well. So watch out for festival competitions. And then there's lots of festivals closing, there's lots of clubs closing. Can you put on your own festival? A festival can be anything. There's a festival local to us, and it's about 200 people, and they get an inflatable dome, they put it in a field, they all camp around it, it's really good fun. It's an amazing thing to do. Can you put your own event on? Do you know someone with a field? Do they know someone that's got access to a field? Can you start promoting and build your own event? These small events will then turn into the big events and the big events and events over time. But can you start something? Can you buck the trend and start your own event? Can you start at the scene and be part of that next generation of events? All of these events started small and somewhere, and this could be you, and this could be your year next year to start doing that. So let's recap. Start by researching which events you're going to play at, which ones fit your sound, and who you're going to play for. Then, what do you look like? What is your business card look like? What do you look like online? What are you putting forward? And then get that pitch right and what you're bringing to the festival. Like I said, it's not sometimes about talent, it's about strategy. Which of these tips are you going to try first? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to know, and which ones you've tried and which ones are working for you. Let me know, and let's share your experiences in the comments and be part of this community in my comments. Now, you know which festivals you're targeting, but if what you're sending them doesn't sing and doesn't actually push you forward and show you in the best light, then you're still not going to get booked. Which in this video, I'm going to give you the blueprint to breaking down what you need to send and your electronic press kit, and to give you the actual blueprint to creating your electronic press kit or your EPK. Go and watch that next. I'll see you in there.